Alright YouTube, here is my yellow Anaconda enclosure that she is currently in. As I said in my other video, I am actually building a new enclosure for her and moving my boa into this cage. Let's see, where to start. I'm using sphagnum moss right now for my substrate. I usually just use newspaper. But in the winter here where I live, it gets extremely dry, so this kind of helps with the water retention. And I know the screen lids are definitely not the best with the heat lamp. What I do is I cover it with plexiglass, as you can see here. It covers up most of the top. Then I have this ceramic heat emitter. And then pull this off. Get a shot of the humidity. You can see it dry about 70%. Running a little under 80 degrees there in the center. Over here on the hot side about 85. There's her basking area and her hide, and you can actually see her head kind of sticking out. She's not too happy about me being in here. And then you can see I have the water dish. She soaks in there every now and then. I know it's not really necessary. She does like to get in there underneath that little pump, kind of let the water flow on her. That helps with the humidity as well. And yeah. The cage I'm building is going to have two separate hide boxes on either side. One on the cool side that's going to be dry, and then one with some of the sphagnum moss in there. And I'm probably going to do AstroTurf in the center. Let me see if I can get her out without getting bit. She's not a very happy camper when I'm messing around in her cage, but as soon as I get her out, she's alright. Alright, there is my pride. She is about 8 months old right now, and I measured her a couple days ago. She is right over 4.5 feet by a couple inches. And you can see she's got some pretty good girth on her. Some pretty nice coloration. Some high yellows. She doesn't have too much yellow showing through her black, which I like a lot of high contrast. Let's see if I can get her to come out. I usually use a hook to get her up until I can get her into my hands. And I'm not going to be able to grab her with my hands because I only have one hand free, but just so you can kind of see how big she is. And you can see I'm just doing newspaper underneath the sphagnum moss. And if you do, this is sphagnum moss from a bigappleherb.com. It's pretty cheap, and they send it in really large bags. And this is a antibiotic moss. It keeps the cage from growing too much bacteria. You want to make sure not to get it too wet, because it does hold the water for a very long time. As you can see here, it's fairly dry. It's a little damp, but you don't want to keep your enclosure extremely wet. I was watching somebody's Anaconda video the other day, and they had their cage absolutely soaked. And if you do that, you're just running the risk of getting scale rot or blisters, or you can even get nasal infections from the bacteria. So you really want to be careful about keeping your cage too wet. And that is one reason I like to keep the larger water dish here, is just in case your humidity isn't high enough. the snake can get in there and soak. But you definitely don't want your cage to be too wet. She does like to burrow in this stuff, is what I've noticed. I just actually put this in here 2 days ago. I was just using newspaper, but I figured it was getting pretty dry, so I'd put that in there. Anyway, I'll go ahead and get a video of some handling of her and some feeding, and show you how the new cage turns out once that is done. Alright, thanks.